Today, I am so excited to talk to you guys about my finished object. This is a DOPPIO sweater, and this is a bulky weight sweater. And the concept behind this sweater is that you pretty much can like stash dive and look through your, through your stash for a combination of yarns that would create that bulky weight and meet gauge, and also, colors that you think that would be fun to put together that would complement each other. I was so excited to knit this up, and I ended up knitting this up with a group of knitting friends in a small, very intimate knit along and rewatching Gilmore Girls. So it was like super fun, and all the DOPPIO sweaters that came out of that group are so gorgeous. And so I was very excited because I had this special yarn that I had bought from Sorella Yarn when she did the Gilmore Girls collection, and I fell in love with that entire collection. So I ended up buying Stars Hollow, which is this beautiful, speckled yarn. It's like a cream base with like all these beautiful browns and blue speckles. And I bought it in fingering. And the idea was that I was gonna knit up, just a beautiful sweater. And when I went to Edinburgh last year, I ended up buying some cameros to put with this Sorella yarn, and and have that because the color was perfect. And I brought it back, and it was just kind of waiting for me for fall so I can knit up something beautiful. So it worked out because when my friends put together this knit along, I was like, oh, I have the perfect yarn for my DOPPIO. So I ended up pulling out my Stars Hollow, the Camerose yarn that I bought. So I had two skeins also in my stash from Madeline Tosh, and in this beautiful color that would complement so well the the Stars Hollow with the Camerose. So it just like it was a match made in heaven. And I gauge swatch, I met gauge, I was so happy, and I was like, okay, this is the yarn, this is the that I'm gonna use to create this gorgeous sweater. And so the knitting experience was so beautiful. Like, it was just a dream to knit with those three fibers together. It was just like smooth on my needles. It was just beautiful. And I love knitting this. I love the experience. And then to add to that I knitted with friends, and then we rewatched Gilmore Girls, and then I was using my Stars Hollow yarn. So it was just like a match made in heaven. It was a dream for me. And it was so funny because one of my friends in the knit along, her DOPPIO is actually also from, she made it with Stars Hollow as well. She had the same yarn. And then obviously the other two yarns, she just, mixed it up with something else. But we both have the Stars Hollow Sorella yarn as our, main yarn. So it's so fun to like, we were both so surprised when we shared our pictures of the yarn that we were gonna use. And that was really fun. But there were some beautiful combinations in that group. And all those sweaters are just a dream. I want to knit another one because this is such a fun knit. And there's a couple actually that I was like, oh, if I could find those exact yarns, that would be a dream, because the color combinations were so beautiful and created such beautiful fabric. But I had, like I said, so much fun knitting this up. This is definitely a sweater that I would knit up again and again. And the fact that I can just kind of like mix and match, these random skeins and kind of make something really beautiful is, for me, like such a fun concept. And so I can see why so many people are on the DOPPIO train. And it's not a sweater that you knit once and that's it. It's like you want to knit, another one and another one. So I am excited, and I'm actually looking forward to the future to knitting another one up. So let's get into the details. And also, I'll put, videos of the full sweater and pictures and everything, so you guys can get a full idea of how gorgeous this sweater is. And the fit is just great. So I told you that I used 2 fingering and a lace for, to create the fabric. I met gauge, and I used a 6mm needle for the body and 4.5mm needle for the ribbing, as the pattern called for. So when you start knitting your neckband, your collar, it's on a 4.5, but it's a folded collar. So what she has you do is switch out to a 3.5 halfway through it, knit one round, and then switch back to the 4.5 and finish, you know, the rest of the rounds. And then obviously it's a folded down collar, which I love, love, love. I love folded down collars. It's just like, it creates such a nice collar. And so like I said, I make gauge, so I used all the needles that the pattern called for. And this was such a fun knit. Now, let's dive into, you know, all the details of the pattern. I did not make really any mods. I, you know, knit to pattern, but I did make, not really that I made a mod, but that I took away something. So the pattern gives you two files, which is the pattern, and then gives you like this other file, which I didn't even open. And it's to create like these seams. And I didn't want that. And I didn't want, you know, have to deal with that. So I just kind of focus on the main pattern. So in the main pattern, you're going to have instructions to do these seams. So basically in your body, when you split for sleeves, I believe, you add a purl stitch to each side of the body. And so what I did was I omitted that, and I just kind of adjusted my stitch count to remove those 2 stitches. And I did my body, you know, in the round without those 2 stitches. And also on the sleeves, you also add to each sleeve 1 purl stitch, in which I didn't do. So I just omitted all of that. And I also didn't do the side shaping because I didn't want my sweater to kind of come in like that. So I didn't do that. I didn't do those decreases. And so I omitted that. I omitted, you know, those extra purl stitches. And what else? Then everything else I did to pattern. On my neckband, I ended up having to add 2 extra stitches because when I picked up my stitches, I was kind of off by 2 stitches. I had like a gap. And so I ended up just kind of adding 2 extra stitches to have a nice even pickup. And that worked out really well. So it's not, you know, I didn't do anything like major. It's still a really good fit. And I love that I can put it through my head without stretching, without struggling. It's just great without messing up my hair. It's fantastic. Now the construction of the sweater is, you know, it's a raglan construction. And so you cast on and start knitting the back. And you do have short rows to shape the back, which I love. And also another feature that I loved, and it was my first time doing, was the increases, like the raglan increases. So it was a right leaning increase and a left leaning increase instead of like the make one right and make one left that I've always done. And I just loved it. I love how beautiful it created the raglan, and it's like almost like a curve. I love, love, love it. And I'll put like a picture kind of zooming in so you could see how pretty. And actually like on the pattern page, on Ravelry, you see it that she like has a picture that shows you. And I love that. I love what it did here. I love this shaping. And so once you do, you know, so like I said, you have short rows for the back. You have these cool increases, and then pretty much it's just, you know, the same standard. You split for sleeves, you join in the round, you knit the body in the round, you know, you do your ribbing, you pick up your sleeves, then you do your neckband, and it's a folded neckband. So it's just perfect. And then the other thing is that for my sleeves, which is standard for me, I always, this is a mod that I always do. I always pick up anywhere from 2 to 4 stitches on each underarm, and then I'll decrease them, you know, on that first knitted round. And that's to just kind of bring in the sides, and that way I never have holes. I usually, when I finish my sweater and I go to weave in, like I rarely have to tug or pull or like use the extra yarn that I leave to close in any holes, but I always leave a tail just in case. But I usually don't have to, because by adding those extra stitches, I'm telling you guys, if you don't do that in your, like doing your underarms, definitely do it, because it really creates a really beautiful, clean, you know, pickup on the underarm, and you don't have holes and you don't have any of this mess. I mean, you always have the tail to, you know, fix whatever you need to fix, but it's just nice to know that either you don't have to fix anything or it's minimal. I did everything to pattern. I did all the measurements to pattern, and let me just give you all the details, and I'll have all that on my project, but I have my notes here, so I'm going to look down real quick to give you, you know, pre-blocking and blocking and after blocking measurements. So I ended up having, this is pre-blocking, so I had 40 inches for circumference, and also I think I mentioned I did size 3, but just in case I didn't. So 40 inches around the circumference of my chest. I had 35 inches on my waist on the hem. I had on the neck width here 9 inches. My upper arm 13 inches, my cuff 9 inches, and the lower body from my underarm to my hem 9.5 inches, and then the sleeve length was 16 3/4. So those are all my measurements, you know, when I finished my sweater. When the other thing, when I blocked this, oh my goodness, this was such like a delicious squishy fabric as soon as it hit that water. And when I took my sweater out, you know, I was very, very careful because it was very soft and I didn't want it to like, you know, like grow. And so when I brought it to my blocking mats, I was very gentle and I didn't really like pull or tug or like stretch or anything because the yarn was very relaxed. And so I didn't want it to just, you know, grow more than it needed to. So I just kind of like took my measuring tape, and because I had my pre-blocking measurements and I knew what the measurements of size 3 were, I pretty much had like the pattern there and then my measuring tape, and I just kind of went exactly to get that measurement if I didn't have it already, you know, on the sweater. And that's what I did, and then I just pinned everything down. So I didn't have to really work my pattern, like my garment aggressively or anything like that, which was really great. And so after blocking, I got what the pattern called for, which was 42 inches bust circumference. So I have so much space. I am very, very comfortable on this size. I'm a 36-inch chest, so great, you know, positive ease. On my waist, I went from 35 to 40 inches, which is what the pattern calls for. On the neck, I went up 1 inch. So I had 9 and I went to 10. And I think that the pattern calls for 9 inches on the neck. And that could be because I have those 2 extra stitches, but it doesn't really like matter. Like if you can see, you know, it's good. It's not like big or anything. It's like perfect and it sits nice on my neck. Let's see what else. Okay, my upper sleeve, I went from 13 inches to 15 inches. So it's great. It fits really nice. And that's what the pattern called for. The cuff is 10 inches. And the lower body length, which is from my underarm to my waist, is 10 inches, what the pattern called for as well. And then on my sleeve, I got the 17 and a half, which is what the pattern calls for as well. So you know, and I'm really, really happy with the sleeve length. It's like perfect. The 17 and a half is like really, really good. It's right, you know, right up, like right here past my watch. So it's perfect. I didn't want these sleeves to go further down because of the way they're, you know, they're fitted sleeves. And so I thought that these fitted sleeves needed to be like right at my, you know, at my kind of like a little bit below my wrist, because I felt like it would look weird if it went further down. So, I mean, that was my personal thing. So I made sure that I stayed at the, you know, at the 17 and a half. I didn't overstretch or anything like that. As far as yarn, it is unbelievable. You only use a little bit of yarn. So for a size 3, I started with 200 grams of my Stars Hollow. I had 200 grams of the other fingering. And then I had 100 grams of my Camera Rose. So I ended up not using all of that. Which is nothing, you guys, because you know that 200 grams of fingering, that's only 2 skeins, you know, so that's like nothing. That's like under 900 yards for a size 3, which is like, I think like a medium. So that's really great. And I ended up having leftovers. So for the Star Hollow, I ended up having 31 grams left over from that 200. For my other fingering, I ended up having 26 grams from that 200. And from my Camera Rose, which is like my lace, I ended up having 26 grams left. So basically, I started off with 100 grams. That's four balls of that lace. And I ended up with one entire ball in like 1 gram of my third ball. So realistically, I used 3 balls. And I cannot believe that this is just a gorgeous sweater and that it only took that little bit of yarn. So this is such a fun make. So if you have, like, 2 skeins of fingering in your stash of one kind and then another 2 fingering of another, and you have lace, like, you only need so little bit that you can kind of make this beautiful sweater. And I believe that, like, for the larger sizes, it's still very low, the amount of yarn that you use. So this is just like a really fun make. And like I said, the pattern gives you other options as far as like mixing other weights to create that bulky. So you can kind of play around with what you have in stash. It's a great sweater. And like I said, this will not be my last. And if you go to the hashtag DOPPIO Sweater, there's so many beautiful sweaters. People have made beautiful sweaters. So I completely 100% recommend it. So go ahead, jump on the DOPPIO train and you won't regret it. Let's move on to my current whips. And this whip you've seen before. This is my Cumulus Blouse by PetiteKnit. And I love this blouse. So I cast it on in August, at the end of August. And I was so excited, but then I started the framed and I needed to have that one done for Rhinebeck. So I pretty much wasn't really dedicating time to the Cumulus or to any other whip. And I only went back to the Cumulus when I had to put my frame sweater kind of like in timeout because I just needed a break from that. And during that break, which was like about a week, I did, I kind of worked on this exclusively. And so look at this beauty. I did the entire body. Let me see if this thing focuses on the shirt. So I did the entire body. Is it focusing? Hold on. There. So I did the entire body of the Cumulus and I love it, love it, love it. It's gorgeous. And I just picked up a sleeve. Where is it? Over here. So I just picked up the sleeve and it's, it's working up pretty quickly. Now that I'm done with the frame sweater, I can dedicate time to this and just like finish it because this is such a fun knit and it's going to be such a great sweater to have. So I just need to work this little bit of the sleeve and then I can pick up the other sleeve and then do my I-cord for the neckband. But the body's complete and I love this. I cannot wait to have this. So this Cumulus is, like I said, from PetiteKnit. And if you go on the project page, there's tons of like projects. Everybody has knitted this up. It's a great pattern. It's knitted up on 4.5 millimeter needle. So that's only one needle to do the entire sweater and even the I-cord and everything. So it's like perfect. It's such a good project if you want to have something like on the go because only one needle. And also it's just, mindless knitting. Once you set up your raglan increases in the top of the blouse, you're pretty much kind of knitting in the round, and just kind of chilling. And it's super nice and relaxing. And this pattern calls for a fingering. Two lace weight yarns, right? And what I did was, but I've seen people do it, and I actually want to make this again. I've seen people do it in like a merino, like a fingering merino and a lace, and I really want to do it like that. I want to do, another one with merino and lace. So you can do that, and it turns out beautiful. The other thing is that you can do 2 lace, or you can just straight up kind of like do what I did. And I am using, which I think if you guys have been watching my podcast, you've seen this before. This is a yarn that is from Peru, and it's from Tejer es Cool, and it's called Lourdes, and it is 77 alpaca, 23 silk. It's a 25 gram ball and 140 meters. So like I said, it's almost like it's like an Aran weight, and I make gauge with this. And so I'm so happy because like I said, I only have to hold one strand, and I love the fabric that it's creating. It's just really, really beautiful. Look how pretty this tiny little sleeve is. Let me see if it focuses. Look how pretty the little sleeve. And like I said, the fabric is just really beautiful. It's creating like a really beautiful fabric. So, you know, I cannot wait to kind of block this and see how this blooms, because this is my first time knitting with this type of yarn. And so, you know, knitting with it at the beginning was like a whole like experience for me, because like I said, I had never knitted with this type of yarn. And so you have to be very mindful, because it's like you have to look to see to make sure you're putting it in the right loop, because it's very fussy and everything kind of sticks together. So, but then after you get used to it, you're good. And so right now is really fluffy and just really beautiful. So when I block this, I am dying to see how, you know, all of this blooms and then kind of like fills in any little gaps that are, you know, that are there. And so I'm knitting my sleeves as I always do in my like little 16-inch, you know, circulars. And I did the entire body and everything. The other thing is that I was going to say is that I started off knitting this on wood and I was struggling. And I was like, okay, I need to change to metal. And once I changed to metal, it was heaven, because I think that the way this yarn is, it like grip, like with the wood, you know how wood tends to grip a little bit on the yarn, so it doesn't work for this. And so the metal, it's easy. It like just slides right off the stitches. So it's just really, really nice. And so, you know, once I started doing that, then my experience was so much better. And yeah, and so that's all that I have to say about my Cumulus. And like I said, I am super happy. I cannot wait to cast this off. This is gonna be a really good top to have and to wear a lot. And you can like wear something underneath, so that'll be really nice as well. And so like I said, this one's almost finished and I'm so excited. I cannot wait. And this I knit to pattern. I didn't modify anything. I didn't do anything. I am knitting it exactly as the pattern instructed and with the same needles and everything. So I'm just like really happy, because this has been such a like a nice relaxing make. And it actually like saved my my mental it like helped me with my sanity through frame sweater when I had like, you know, a moment that I couldn't even like work on frame anymore. And so I was like, okay, let me just go back to this. And I knitted on this and it was just like so relaxing and so nice. And this is like the project that I work now that I'm done with frame. You know, I'll work while I watch TV or I listen to an audiobook or anything like that, because it's so relaxing, this knit, and I love it. I highly recommend this. This is something that it's easy. Any beginner knitter can knit it, and it's like so nice. And you'll have like a really beautiful top. So, you know, definitely something to consider if you guys haven't knitted it yet. My next current whip that I'm so excited to talk about, because this poor whip has been abandoned for many reasons. And the goal was to have it done for fall, but you know, I cast it on in summer and then I was traveling, so I kind of like barely touched it. Then fall came about and then I was gonna go to Rhinebeck, so I started knitting on the frame. So anyway, long story short, this poor whip has been set to the side, but now it's all about this whip and I am so excited. So I actually this week, and I am talking about my beautiful bucket that I have here. I love knitting out of this beautiful basket. It's so good. And just to kind of have everything in one place and to just kind of walk around and move around from room to room is just amazing. And it keeps everything nice and neat. So let me show you. So this is my traveler shawl, which you guys saw in one of my podcasts many moons ago. Like I said, when I was doing it. And I am so happy to tell you guys that I pulled it out of a hibernation, and I only have 3 more repeats to do to set up my second triangle. And then the second triangle is so much smaller than the larger one. I'm making size 2. So I'm excited because that means that I'll be, casting off soon. And let me just show you guys how gorgeous this is. And obviously I have it like on a smaller cord, so you know it's way bigger than what I'm showing you guys. Look how beautiful. Isn't that gorgeous? Look at this. Oh my god, this is gonna be so good and so delicious. It is so squishy. I love this. Love it, love it. I love this texture. This pattern is so beautiful. This is the Traveler Shawl, and it comes in two sizes, size 1 and size 2. I'm doing the size 2. So the size 2 has like a bigger triangle and then a smaller one. And so obviously you're knitting much more. And then the wingspan is way bigger than the size 1. And I wanted to do the bigger one because I want something really big and squishy that I can kind of wrap myself in, you know, during the cold months. And if I have to like cover my head or anything, I'm good. So I'm doing the size 2, and this is a DK weight, and it calls for 4.5 millimeter needle. And this is such a nice pattern, you guys. Such a beautiful, beautiful texture. So squishy, so gorgeous. I love this entire collection. I actually want to make the Traveler crew neck, and I have the yarn for it and everything. I just need to gauge swatch to see if I hit gauge with it. And I cannot wait to knit that one up because it's just delicious and squishy and beautiful. And so, like I said, I probably this week will finish those repeats and then do my setup rows to pick up the second triangle. And I am so excited. And like I said, I'm sorry I can't like really show you guys because it's on a, you know, on a smaller cord, because I'm soon going to be, you know, setting up for the second triangle, which is much smaller. And so, but you guys get an idea of how beautiful this is. Let me just see if this focuses on my shawl. This, yeah, is it focusing? Let's see. There, look how pretty that is, the yarn colors. Oh my goodness, isn't that crazy? It almost looks like my DOPPIO sweater. Oh my God, I love these colors. I love like these speckled yarns that are like cream base with like browns and like mustard color, golden. Oh, I love those colors. They're like my favorite. Let me just show you what I am using. I am using this beautiful woolly knit cone. I love their cones. And this is their merino wool. So this is 100% merino wool. It's beautiful and it's so nice to knit with. So I'm using that, and then I'm holding it with this. I'll show you, I'm holding it with this. This is all I have left on that skein. So I'm going to show you a nice, you know, a nice one. Look how beautiful that is, you guys. The colors are just gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. This is Mornings at the Coffee Shop. I love this color, and it's so soft and so good. And this was Woolberry Fiber did the best of 2023, which was this is part of the Coffee House collection. It's beautiful collection, and I love this color. And when she brought it back, I ran and I grabbed it. And so I think I'm going to have, because I bought 3 skeins of fingering, and I think I'm only gonna need 2 for this, because I think this uses like 830 yards. So I might have a whole skein, and I am so excited because I can do so many things with that and have more of this beautiful, delicious yarn. I am so excited, you guys, to have this shawl soon off my needles and ready to wear. And I read that once you like, because it's very squishy and gorgeous, but once you block it, it opens up and it's gonna be just like really nice and big. I'm so excited to just have this huge shawl to wrap myself in, you know, with this gorgeous texture. And I am excited to really, you know, work on this now that I don't have anything going on, so I can kind of do the second triangle and cast it off. So let's move on now to new whips. So for Rhinebeck, which you guys know, I went to Rhinebeck now at the end of October, which is New York Sheep and Wool Festival. I casted on a little project to take with me, you know, on the trip there, and have something small to knit on. So I'm so excited to share with you guys this little project, because I ended up buying, which was the first time ever, I bought self-striping yarn, which I had been wanting to knit with, but I had never bought. And I ended up buying from Mustache Yarn and Fiber. Beautiful, beautiful colorways. And I bought, it's called, what is it called? Oh my goodness, hold on. I have it here. It is called, what is the colorway? You Had Me at Hello. Isn't that beautiful? Anyway, so let me just show you guys. It is, I have to show you from here. Look at this gorgeous, gorgeous color. Isn't that pretty? And so it has like all these beautiful kind of like pinkish, golden yellows, a little bit of like, I don't know, like a wine color. It's just really, really beautiful, like a burgundy wine. And it has yellow and then a little bit of green. It's just gorgeous. And I am in love with this colorway. And so the cool thing about this is that, so it's self-striping, right? Which is super fun. But the coolest thing is that I didn't know until I bought it. It's that they use this technique that is called the perfect match set. And basically you get two skeins exactly the same. So when you set up to wind up your skein, you're going to wind up two skeins, and your socks are exactly the same. So you don't have to worry about it. Isn't that cool? So you knit one up, then you move that little skein out, and then you put your next one. I love it. It's 75% merino and 25% nylon. It's just really, really beautiful. And it's 100 grams, and it is 460 yards in one skein. And it's just gorgeous. I love it. I am definitely buying more of, of this yarn. I ended up buying also another skein that is really beautiful, but I cannot show it and I cannot talk about it because I bought it as a gift. So in case that person watches, and I don't want to ruin the surprise. But then in the future, I can talk about it and I can show it. But anyway, let me just show you. So I did one sock already, and then the other one I just cast it on. And I am using the I'm So Basic socks from Summerly Knits. I love that basic sock. And look how gorgeous, you guys. Isn't this pretty? Look at that. Look at all the beautiful colors. So I did, regular long tail cast on. I have a 2x2 rib on the cuff. And then pretty much, self-striping. Look at how beautiful. And then I did the heel flap and gusset heel, which is so much fun and so pretty and easy. And I think it works out so great when you have self-striping because it just kind of continues, So I figured that would be like the best for this yarn. And it's just gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Look how pretty that is. And it fits so, so great. So I am doing 64 stitches on a 2.5 millimeter needle. And it fits nice. It's, it's just a beautiful fit on my foot. So I stick to that. And like I said, I made this one. And then look how cool. How I was telling you, like, you just cast on with the second skein and you don't have to worry because the colors are in the same sequence, which I love, love, love. Look, you see? So I cast it on. This is the second one. Look, you see, it starts just like the other one with the green and then the pink. So let me just show you here. Look, you see? The green. Is it focusing on this? Yes. The green and then the pink. So isn't that cool? I am so happy. This is so much fun. I cannot wait to make the second one and just like block them and, be able to wear them. They're super fun. So this is my little cast on that I casted on for Rhinebeck, and then it's in my little Matter root bag, which you guys have seen. I love this little Matter root bag. It's just perfect because, I can have everything here, and look how gorgeous it is, you guys. Oh, I love it. And then it's just, I can clip it on my toe, on my bag. It's just easy and practical and keeps everything nice and neat in here. So it's perfect. I love these bags. I highly recommend them. They're such an investment. Like, I mean, we all have like little project bags here and there, but I really wanted something really nice. And I felt like this was a great investment for me. I use it all the time. I'm definitely getting my money's worth, and it's just beautiful. So beautifully made. So this is my, my pretty much recent cast on. And then another cast on that I just recently did was, so last I'm gonna say last winter. Yes, last winter, towards like the end of the winter. Amy, my friend Amy from Any Knits, she hosted a knit along with Originally Lovely for the Berlin scarf. And I joined because that was a pattern that I wanted to make, and I wanted to have that scarf for, you know, to wear here in the cold months. Ended up being that I just kind of like went into my stash and I grabbed whatever I had and I cast it on and I participated. Then, you know, it was like I said, the end of winter. It ended. I was like, okay, I'll put it away because it was spring, and I'll pick it up again, you know, towards like the end of summer so I can like work on it and have it ready for winter because it's a massive, massive scarf. Ended up being that when I went at the end of August and I pulled it out, I remembered that the piece that I made was beautiful. And if you guys see, it's on my project, and I'll link it so you guys can see it. It's beautiful. The color, the fabric, really beautiful. But I ended up not really loving the fact that it was kind of like, it was heavy. It was a heavy fabric. And I just felt that that wasn't going to work because it's such a massive scarf that I was like, I don't want something that heavy around my neck. I want something light and airy and flowy, which is what the pattern calls for. But I didn't have any of that in stash, and I kind of joined last minute. So anyway, I'm going to frog that. And I ended up, you know, getting yarn and casting on again. And I'm so happy I did. So let me just show you. Look how beautiful, you guys. It's turning out. So it's pretty much the same color, pretty much almost the same color of what I originally had casted on because I wanted a scarf in this color. So I'm happy that I was able to find it. And so look how beautiful this is. So this is my, you know, it has a provisionary cast on, which at the end you undo these, this provisionary cast on, you know, for the live stitches. So you can do all the fringes. But for now, you leave it like that, and then you start working, you know, the entire body. So basically it's a tube, and you are just knitting in the round until it meets like the measurement that it tells you, which is like, I have a long way to go, I think. And then once you finish that, then you do kind of like the fringes on that side. Then you come back here and then you do these fringes. So you guys, I'm in love. Look how pretty this pink is. Oh my God. And it's so fluffy and beautiful and airy. And I'm so, so happy. And it's gonna, you know, it's gonna block really nicely probably. This is done. Let's see. So this is the Berlin scarf. Let me just, hold on. Let me just go quick to my notes here. So this is the Berlin, let me just see, where is it? Where is it? Here it is. So the Berlin scarf, this is by Susanne Muller, which I love her patterns. And you guys probably seen the Berlin scarf because it's a popular project from last year. And it's just a gorgeous, gorgeous scarf. It's like nice and big. You can pretty much like wrap yourself a few times in it. And that's one of the features that I love. And so it is, let's see, it is, let me just check real quick. So it uses bulky weight and it uses a 7mm needle. And I am using, because of the yarn that I'm using, I am using an 8mm needle to meet gauge. And let me just show you the yarn that I'm using. Where is my yarn? Hold on. Oh, my little label came off. Oh no, it's here. Hold on. Okay. Oh my God, it's so good and so fluffy. This is Drops Melody. This is the first time that I'm using this. Let me just see if this, look how beautiful, you guys. Isn't that gorgeous? I am so in love with this color. Look how pretty that is. Let me just put it so I could focus on it. Look how pretty. It's so squishy too. I love this. Love, love, love. I love knitting with it. It's so nice. So yeah, so this is, like I said, Drops Melody. I ordered this from Wool Warehouse, which is where I usually get my all my drops. They have great like delivery service. I love it. And they always, Drops always has like all these huge sales. So I actually bought this when they were having a huge sale. It was like during the summer. So I bought it, I just stashed it, and I was like, I'll cast on, you know, when fall comes around. And this is the color 06, which is like a, I don't know, like maybe like a light pink or a dusty rose or something like that. They don't really have names, but 06, and you can tell how pretty it is. It's just so gorgeous. Ah, I am so in love with this. It's gonna be so nice. You see, but this one is flowy and airy compared to my other one that, you know, it's so thick and heavy, but it's really pretty. I'm so sad that I'm gonna frog it, but I'm not gonna knit that entire scarf that is so massive in such a like dense fabric, you know. I think it's too much, so I'm just gonna frog that. And I'm excited to have this. Look how pretty this is. Oh, this is gonna be so good and so fluffy. And when they have like another sale, I think I'm gonna grab some more because it's just a really nice yarn. I really love it. It's nice to knit with. It creates this really beautiful, fluffy, airy fabric. So I'm excited to just see how it blocks, because, you know, one thing is when you're knitting it, the other thing is like when you block it, just to see. So far it's very soft, and I can put it against my skin. It doesn't itch, it doesn't bother me at all. So I'm really happy also about that, because, you know, again, this is something that you're gonna put around your neck and wrap around your face. And so I wanted something that was gonna be, you know, gentle against my skin. I have some projects that I want to cast on that I'll probably cast on this week as well, which is like a hat and some gloves. I am like dying to cast on gloves, and it's getting cold. Today was 29 when I woke up this morning. Well, when I went outside, it was 29. And so today I pulled out my shrug and I was like, okay, it's officially shrug season. And I was so warm in my shrug, which is gorgeous, my shrug. I made it in Big Birdie from the Lamb Kid. Wow, that yarn is just fabulous. I want to order some more to make another shrug. I love shrugs. They're so useful. And I'll link the video where I kind of show you guys the shrug. So if you haven't seen it, you could see it. It's just gorgeous. Like, you guys should all make a shrug. It's so much fun. It's a super quick knit, and it's like so useful in like the cold weather. It's just perfect. Right now, I want to really focus on finishing my cumulus, finishing the shawl. Once I finish those two that I know that I like, you know, almost casting off, I am going to cast on a sweater. And so I'm debating whether to cast on, like, I know I want to cast on the cardigan, but I have bought yarn for the book club cardigan, which I love. But now I'm obsessing about the new cardigan that PetiteKnit released. I love it so much. And I actually have yarn in stash for it that would fit perfect. So I'm debating whether, you know, which one do I cast on. And yeah, so once I, you know, like I said, once I cast off one of these big projects, I am definitely gonna go and cast on that cardigan. And it'll be such a nice cardigan to have in the winter, you know? So those are all my whips and my current cast on. So let's move on to acquisitions. I placed an order with Knitting for Olive a while ago, but I been so busy that I opened it, checked that everything was, you know, okay, and then I kind of put it on the side because I've been so busy. And I finally like sat and went through the yarn. I still have to, like, you know, add it to my stash on Ravelry. So, but I figured, let me just open this up and share with you guys what I got. So I love Knitting for Olive yarn. So I ended up getting, look at this, how beautiful. This is, they were having a huge sale too for fall, which was really great. And they were giving like free shipping, and they were giving like discounted yarn. It was really nice. Anyway, so I ended up getting these 3 beautiful colors in Knitting for Olive Heavy Merino. And I've knitted with this yarn before and I love it. I knitted my weekend hat in this, which is, I love my weekend hat. I made it in Pink Daisies is the color. It's like this beautiful bright pink. And it was such a pleasure to knit with this yarn. And so this is Blood Orange. This is, what is this? Let me just see, hold on. This is Coal. And then this is Snowflake. And these are 50-gram balls, and I believe it's 125 meters. And the reason I got these 3 colors, I cannot wait to knit with this. I'm gonna make a hat, and the hat that I'm making with this is called Sacred Sheep Hat, and it is from Caitlin Hunter. It is gorgeous. I love, love, love this hat, and I love the way that she made it. So I actually picked the same colors, and it's so cool. The brim is this blood orange, and then the pattern are these two colors. And I know that I am going to be wearing that hat a lot. I just love it. It's so beautiful, the color work, and just the color combination is fantastic. So, and then the crown, it's so, so beautiful. I'll put pictures so you guys can see the top of the crown is just gorgeous. And I'm excited. I cannot wait to, you know, work that hat up with this, because this is going to be a nice warm hat. This is worsted weight, by the way. And the hat, the cool thing about the hat, it's that it's an any gauge hat. So you can work with like any yarn, you know, that you have, which is, again, really fun. I love hats like that. The Musselburgh hat is like that, and I love it. And so, but I wanted to make this one in worsted because I wanted it nice and warm for winter. So this is like a super fun cast on, and I cannot wait to cast this on. So that's my first purchase. Then the other purchase that I made was this gorgeous, gorgeous color that I am obsessed with. And as you know, I love like deep burgundies and reds and all that good stuff. So this is in Merino, and this is 50 grams, and this is silk mohair, and this is 25 grams. And it's just beautiful, beautiful. It's so soft. And I bought enough because I want to make a sweater with this. But now what I'm trying to do is try to look through all the patterns and everything that I saved to see what sweater I want to make with this color. But this color is gorgeous. Look at that. I find that these colors are so like good against my skin. It just like really brings me out. So that's why I like love like, you know, these beautiful loud colors. Because of that, my shrug is in this color. I want to knit up a beautiful plain stockinette, you know, classic sweater with this, because I think this is where this color in this yarn is gonna shine. So I'm really, you know, looking and researching to see what I find that like I really love. But if you guys have any recommendations, I would really appreciate it. Leave it in the comments below. So they had 5 colors that were on sale specifically, and look at this gorgeous color that I got, you guys. Isn't that beautiful? Let me see if it focuses on this color. Look at that. It's this gorgeous brown. And I ended up getting, because it was so cheap, I ended up getting enough that I can hold double to make a sweater. So that's going to be a dream to knit with this yarn double. I hear that it's like such a nice experience. And I was like, it's so affordable. Minus will get enough that I can hold double. So this one, again, another sweater for this color. And I think this is going to be so good. So that's it, what I got from Knitting for Olive. I love their yarn. Their prices are really reasonable, and they have just beautiful, beautiful colors. I know I've been talking for a minute here, but I had a lot to share, and I am so excited with everything that I'm working on. I'm happy to have a lot of free time now. Since, Rhinebeck is over, frame sweater is over, I can kind of work on, finishing my cumulus, finishing my shawl, and cast on some other fun projects as well. So I hope you guys are having a wonderful time. I hope that you're loving anything that you're making, and that you're enjoying autumn wherever you are. And yeah, happy knitting, you guys. Happy making. And don't forget, leave in the comments below some pattern recommendations for my Knitting for Olive merino and lace that I can kind of like take a look, okay? Because I am counting on you guys for that. Thank you so much, guys. Happy knitting. Bye.